Inverses by hand. This is the way your book does it. I've always used reduced row echelon form for inverses, but your book wants you to do it using products. I know of 3 ways to find an inverse by hand. This is how Envision Algebra 2 is doing it. We're going to take our matrix, it's a 2 by 2, and we're going to multiply it by another matrix containing the elements A, B, C, and D. Your book might use like W, X, Y, and Z. And we're going to set it equal to the identity matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to think about our position here. This is row 1, column 1. So I need to take a negative 1, 3, because that's row 1, and I need to multiply it by AC. And that gives me negative A plus 3C. And notice there's a 1 there, equals 1. There is an equation. Now I'm doing row 1, column 2. So again, negative 1 and 3. And I'm supposed to multiply it by B and D. And that will give me negative B plus 3D, and it has to equal 0. There's 2 equations, all right? Row 2, column 1 is going to be a negative 3 and a 4, and column 1 is an A and a C. And that gives me negative 3A plus 4C, and it has to equal 0. And lastly, we're going to do row 2, column 2, which is negative 3 and 4, and column 2 being B and D. And that's going to be a negative 3B plus 4D, and it has to equal 1. So I've got 4 equations here, and I'm just going to pick on the ones that have B's and D's for no reason. And I'm going to multiply this one by a negative 3. That'll give me 3B, and I'm multiplying by a negative, minus 9D equal to 0, and I'm just going to add down. That'll give me negative 5D is 1, and my D value is negative 1/5. Now, I went and I typed this in earlier so I could check my answers as I do it. There's D, negative 1/5. I'm on the right track. As long as these 4 equations are right, I'll get the rest of them right. Now, since I have D, I can get B. That one looks like a winner right there. Negative B plus 3, negative 1/5 must be, according to that equation, a 0. This is going to be a negative 3/5. If we jump it over to the right, it becomes a positive 3/5. And if we divide out our negative, we get a B value of negative 3/5. And B is right there, negative 3/5. So I've got B and D correct. Now I need A and C. Since I have B and D, I guess I've got to play with A and C, which means I got to do the elimination technique. So I'm going to do it very similar to the last one. I'm going to take this equation, I'm going to multiply it by a negative 3. That'll give me a positive 3A minus a 9C is negative 3, because I multiplied everything by a negative 3. If I add down, I'll be at negative 5C equals negative 3, and that gives me that C is 3/5, and C is right here. Calculator says I'm right, so I'm probably going to get A correct. And I'm going to plug into this guy right here. Negative A plus 3 3/5 is a 1, which is 5/5. 3 3/5 is 9/5. 5/5 minus 9/5 is negative 4/5. That means A is 4/5. Ta-da! All right. So A was 4/5. B was negative 3/5. C was 3/5. And D was negative 1/5. There you go. That's how you find the inverse of a 2 by 2 by hand. It says do all 2 by 2s by hand. So, like if you can't do number 4, I mean, I'll do it for you. On the calculator, store to matrix A. So second matrix, edit, 3 by 3. Just make sure you typed everything in right. And you just raise it to the negative first power. That's all you do. So second matrix A, hit that inverse key, convert to fracts. I do know how to find the inverse of a 3 by 3 by hand. It involves reduced row echelon form. Don't ask me why I know how to do it, I just do. Let's see here, number 6. What is the area of a parallelogram determined by the vectors 5, 2, and -1, -10? And it says show your work. Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to make a matrix of the image. So you need a matrix. Remember, this is essentially x and y. So your matrix would contain the first point, 5, 2, and the second point, -1, 10. Now, with parallelograms, it's really, really easy. You just find the determinant. So the area is the determinant of this matrix. Now, the formula for the determinant of something that contains A, B, C, D, I should probably put this on your form quizzes. It's AD minus CB, because this is an ACT standard. So anyways, it should be 5 times 10 minus 2 times a -1, which ought to be 52. See, it's not that bad. If it was a triangle, you do 1/2 the determinant. At least if my memory is serving me right. I haven't had a chance to do this since 2017. Just had to go check myself. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've done that. 7 is easy. It says it does not have an inverse. Find the value of B and explain how you know. So you don't have an inverse if the determinant of a matrix A, B, C, D, in other words, AD minus CB is equal to 0. You just need to do that for this. I mean, that's all you need to do. There's page 1. Go down page 2. All right, so this matrix was encoded using 6522. What is the secret word? All right. What we're going to do is we're going to take this matrix and we're going to multiply it by the inverse. Pay attention to that little -1 there I'm putting there. We're going to multiply it by the inverse of the encoding matrix, and we're going to get a message back. Now we will have to turn around and decode the message. They didn't do anything hard. And I might have the order wrong. I do have the order wrong. This actually needs to be out front, because this is a 2 by 2 and this is what, a 2 by 6. So this has to go out front, because I can only do a 2 by 2 by a 2 by 6. I can't do the other way around. So anyways, that needs to be up here, okay? That's what has to happen. Anyways, let's put that encoding matrix in. Put it in A. I'm going to put the other matrix in B. And B is a 2 by 6. All right, second matrix A, I need its inverse. And then second matrix B. And I get this resulting matrix 4, 20, 18, 9, 1, 20, 5, 5, 13, 14, 14, 19. Now, I glossed over this in your notes when I did it. I'm just going to write down the alphabet up here. Some of y'all won't write down the alphabet, so I'll probably circle your stuff. Space is 27. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. And I just labeled each letter a number, starting with A being 1. So here's a 4. 4 is the letter D. Here's a 5, which is the letter E. Here's a 20, which is the letter T. I think I know where this is going, D, T. Here's a 5, which is an E. Yep, I know where this is going. 18 should be an R. 13 should be an M. 9 should be an I. 14 should be an N. 1 is an A. 14 is an N. 20 is a T. And 19 is an S. So, spelled determinants. You guys can do 9. I'm not going to do 10. I'll do 12. That should enable you to do 11. For what value does the determinant of that matrix equal 7? And again, the determinant of a matrix containing the elements A, B, C, and D is AD minus CB. Just a nice little simple formula. So negative 2 times x minus 4 times x must be 7. And that gives me negative 6x is 7, so x must be negative 7/6. And that is the homework for 10-4. Now I did all the ACTs. You got 3 things there. 9 makes 4. I'm not even sure what's left on the front page. 5, 6. You only have to do 8 problems. I don't know what y'all's issue is. I literally do almost everything for you. Get it together, kids.